Nasser Weddady, thank you very much for accepting our invitation to Tunisia Live.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us about your impression of the Arab Bloggers meeting?
This conference for me is really part of a process that started with me personally as early as 1995, when I first got involved in internet activism within the Mauritanian context. Then I moved to the United States and I work for the American Islamic Congress, which is a civic NGO that has been working on civil rights in the Middle East and North Africa for the last decade. And my relationship to the conference started as a consequence of our own work in the region, where we have been for years collaborating with bloggers, activists, doing trainings, advocacy campaigns, and capacity buildings through our offices across the region. And this conference in particular is very important for us because we are, just like most other players in the region, trying to adapt to the new situation. So it was vital for us to be present at this conference so that we can pick up where we left at the last time before the uprisings, draw lessons from the uprisings, the performance of the blogosphere, the cyber-activists, but also more importantly, and this is one of the critical elements that we hope to see develop in the region and past this conference, is further consolidating the gains in Tunisia, in Libya, in these countries through individual initiatives and that aim towards building institutions that guarantee individual rights. This conference is a very important step towards that direction because there will be projects, there will be initiatives, and what we're really looking and excited to see is seeing more and more of these projects and initiatives jumping from the cyber world, the virtual world, back to the real world.
Thanks. Now, can you tell us if your experience as a Mauritanian journalist how relevant it is to those of other bloggers witnessing Arab revolutions today?
For me personally, you know, as a long-time cyber activist and a dissident, the experience that I've accumulated within the Mauritanian context, understanding balances of force, understanding the basics of how media work, then added to the electronic dimension, and having learned from other activists in the region, including the Tunisian cyber activist, what we have learned in the past is that there are certain facts that were generally frowned upon, and I think that one of the most decisive factors that helped us get the news out of Tunisia and basically become this massive echo chamber for Tunisians as they rose against Ben Ali, the lesson is one of solidarity. Do not discount the solidarity of your fellow bloggers. Now, just to contextualize things and be very clear, I'm not talking about Arab nationalism, you know, the old dogma. I'm talking about a solidarity that stretches from the Atlantic Ocean to the Gulf, between the people of the peoples of...
Shortly, can you tell us how did you support the Tunisian Revolution in a few words?
In few words, basically, I was one of the first non-Tunisians to take the hashtag Sidi Bouzid on Twitter and spread the news that the Tunisians themselves were getting out, first to other Arab Twitter users by translating from French to Arabic possibly, but also translating Tunisian dialect, information in the Tunisian dialect into other Arabic dialects, and specifically targeting the big nods in the Arab blogosphere and Twitter sphere, people in the Mashriq, in Egypt, in Morocco, and then doing the same work but targeting Western media, Western journalists, and basically explaining to them the context. And again, my role can be summarized as that somewhat of a filter that took in Tunisian and produced outside the different versions of that for Arabs, for Westerners, Americans, Europeans. And ultimately, something that I personally take pride in is the fact that now I was really surprised when I came to Tunisia. I didn't think about it twice. People, like, once they discover that I am the person they saw on the hashtag, the welcoming has been really warm and very emotional for me to be able to meet with the same people who at one point were either in prison or risking their lives for their freedoms. I was humbled by the experience of these people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your time to Tunisia Live.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.